the first assignment that I got was to design a better bottle than Pepsi had, to have a bottle that was more competitive with what was then the traditional hourglass shaped bottle that Coke has, which is still their principal design for soft drink bottles today. And Coke, every time Pepsi wanted to come up with a bottle that was had anything like a distinctive design, Coke always said that infringes on our design. The first consumer study we ever ran when I was marketing vice president, because there was no quantitative data to speak of prior to that, was an extended in-home product use test, 550 homes, where we went out and we delivered every week, not only Pepsi, but Coke and other soft drinks, and we were trying to track with these 550 homes the behavior, the consumption pattern of how did they consume soft drinks. Sounds like a pretty obvious question to ask, but there was no data on it at that time. After 9 weeks, we discovered something that we hadn't expected to find, and that was no matter how much soft drinks we delivered to any one of those 550 homes the week before, we'd come back the next week, the household inventory was always empty. We started to think about that, and we said, maybe we're being asked to solve the wrong problem. Maybe the problem isn't about designing a better looking little tiny Pepsi bottle to compete with the beautiful, iconic hourglass shaped Coke bottle. Maybe the real problem we should be solving is how do we get more of Pepsi's products, the liquid, into household inventories, because it's pretty high probability based on our tests that once we get it into household inventory, it's going to be consumed. So that led to a shift in strategy to develop the 2-liter plastic bottle. And we did this working in conjunction with DuPont, eventually coming up with a polyester bottle called the PET bottle. And it was one that had the flavor barriers that were necessary for soft drinks, that could hold carbonation, that was biodegradable. But what was really interesting was that in a different domain, mass merchandisers and drug chains were just becoming important. A new company that had emerged in the 1960s called Walmart was now starting to expand nationally. Drug chains like Walgreens and CVS were coming together, and they were moving into nationwide availability. Other mass merchandisers like Kmart were expanding to compete against Walmart. And none of these new channels sold soft drinks. And they didn't want soft drinks because they said, glass bottles break, they're messy, we don't want to handle products like that. And by the way, we get our products through the warehouse, so we don't like the way that soft drinks are being delivered. I remember going to Bentonville, Arkansas, and having a chance to meet with Sam Walton, who was the legendary founder of Walmart, and he was very much against the idea of Walmart having soft drinks because he didn't want broken, messy bottles. So we brought one of our new 2-liter bottles that was just now coming out of test market. And I remember going in being a little bit nervous about this experience and meeting Mr. Sam, as they called him. And I said, I want to show you what we're doing with soft drinks. And he said, well, we're really not that interested, but let me hear your story. And I said, well, this is our 2-liter plastic bottle. And as I reached out to show it to him, I let it go. And it fell about maybe 2.5 to 3 feet. And there was just a gasp in the room. You could just feel it, that people said, oh my God, what happened? And what happened was it bounced. Not very much, but just enough that it didn't break. And Sam Walton looks at it and he said, what is that? And I said, Mr. Walton, that's a plastic bottle. That's the perfect package for Walmart because you're not going to have any mess at all. It's very convenient to your customers, and it's a large size where you can have a great value because we can price this, to be a disruptive price. We got into Walmart and we got into all the other chains, and we built out the 2-liter bottle as the frontal assault on expanding Pepsi beyond its traditional territories.